cursing, we killing it. Hate ain't feeling it. Profane, no thrilling it. In Yah's name we sealing it. With love in our hearts, we restart to give Yah glory. Renew our story. Forget your plight. Receive your sight. You are the light. Filled with might. All praises due to Yahweh. So choose whom you will serve today.
Shalom, family. Pastor Kofi back at it again, and we are continuing our Hebrew characters class, or not really class. We have classes. This is going to be some basic stuff, but maybe just to introduce you to some characters that you might not have known, or maybe you do know, but you didn't know that you knew them. So, first one up is, you will look at this as the letter A, but we would actually call this character Aleph, right? Aleph, right? And we always remember we're going right to left. So Aleph is this character, and Aleph, it means the bull, ox. If you can see the head here, triangle, the ears, and the horns. And it also, of course, means father, source of all. Aleph. Matter of fact, make sure you guys see how to pronounce it. Aleph. All right, what's up, fam? Pastor Kofi back at it again, continuing this series in our AlephBeit series, really AlavBait, as we would say in Avda or Paleo Hebrew, Ancient Hebrew, etc. But bit is how people know it today. And if you notice, it kind of looks like the letter B, but it's known as bit, B-E-I-T, bit. Remember, the AlephBeit precedes the alphabet, so that's why these letters, the alphabet looks like the AlephBeit. And here you have a ground, a house, or a tent. Looks kind of like an igloo. And this is represents son, family, house, tent, or the son who comes out the right family. Bit. Shalom, family. Pastor Kofi back at it again. We're continuing this Hebrew character series real quick. And this here is Gemal, the third character of the Hebrew alphabet. Gemal, it actually means the camel, camel's neck, or even humility, right? This is why Yahshua says that it's easier for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of heaven than it is, it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of heaven, right? There was an actual place in the wall of Yerushalayim or Jerusalem where you would have to train the camel to be able to scooch through, to be able to get through just in case they couldn't open the gates. And so the Gemal means camel, camel's neck, or also humility. Shalom, family. Pastor Kofi still at it in this series of Hebrew characters. Real quick for you, this next one is called Dalet. Dalet, it means the door. Dalet, door or a place of entry. Dalet, it is the fourth character. Also, for those of you who read music, I'll see if I can do this very quickly. But for those of you who read music, you probably already saw what this meant, or maybe you had a mindset of what this could mean when you're reading music. But just very quickly, if we're dealing with Dalet, right? And we were, we'll just make it pretty easy as far as that. If we were to have some notes, and we were to see that Dalet in the middle of a staff, we would know that Dalet would mean something different, right? If we saw that Dalet, it would actually be a place of rest. So when we are going through reading, we know that here, this is a whole note. Here, this is a place of rest. Going back to now, coming out of rest. Dalet. Shalom, fam. Pastor Kofi still at it in this Hebrew characters journey real quick. This next character is called Che. Che. It is the fifth character, also known as the Holy Spirit. Che. The fifth character, also known as the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit can also represent breath, can also represent the soul as well. So far, if you've been with us, we have AlephBeit, Gemal, Dalet, and Che. Shalom, family. Still on this journey together. Next character is Vav. 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 It actually stands for the tent nail, or the thing that nails the family in place. Vav. The tent nail. Third character of the name Yahweh. Vav. Now, who nailed the family in place? Who was nailed for us? That would be Yahshua HaMashiach. So Vav, the sixth character, representing the tent nail, or what nails the family in place. Shalom, family. Pastor Kofi here. We're keeping it moving. We come up with the next character, the seventh character of the Hebrew AlephBeit, which is Zion. Zion. It actually represents a weapon. It even represents a garden tool as well. The same weapon that they use to fight would be the same garden tool they could use to cultivate. Of course, we know about Mount Zion as well, which is the high place to which the Most High is supposed to reside. We are supposed to be there for daughters and sons of Zion. Zion, once again, being a weapon that a weapon that protects us while also being a garden tool that can cultivate. So remember, no matter what you're going through, when it comes to being children of Zion, we should be people that could use this weapon that we have, even the word of Yah, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but are mighty to the pulling down of strongholds, while at the same time we can cultivate to be able to season our words with salt and make sure that we can be people who throw seed and even to thorny places that people might grow. All right, Shalom, family. We're continuing to move on this. I'm Pastor Kofi. We're doing our Hebrew characters very quickly. Next character up is the eighth character called Chet. 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 Now, some people, depending on what kind of pronunciation, what dialect, or if you're doing modern Hebrew pronunciation, you might hear a lot of people even say Chet with a C before the H, but we have Chet. Now, Chet is a wall of protection, right? So therefore, Chet is simply a wall. So in our life, we need to make sure we have that Chet around us to make sure that we are always protected. And the Most High has decided to be our protection. Therefore, if we would just simply acknowledge him, we would be able to make sure that we have that Chet. Amen. Shalom, family. Pastor Kofi still at it. We're over here making sure that we go through these Hebrew characters. Next one up is the ninth character. It is called Tet. Tet. Tet actually meaning snake basket or wisdom. This is why you should be as gentle as a dove, right? But as wise as a serpent. So, Tet. Tet. So far, have you been with us? We have Aleph, Bet, Gamal, Dalet, Che, Vav, Zayin, Chet, and now Tet. Shalom, family. We're keeping it moving here with these Hebrew characters today. We have the next character up, which is called Yod, the 10th character. Yod. 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 It represents the hand leading us in a certain direction. And it is actually the first character in the name Yahweh, the name of the Most High. Yod. Yod. Once again, the hand pushing us or leading us in a certain direction. Even in Matthew chapter 5, verse 18, where it says you should not change one jot or tittle, you'll actually see that it was originally meaning that you should not change the most minuscule of measurements concerning the law, or even the yod, the hand that it's written in, even the handwriting itself. So 10th character, yod. All right, Shalom, family. How's everybody doing? We're continuing to go through this series. We have the 11th character up. This 11th character called Kaf. Kaf. Matter of fact, kind of looks like a Mario flower, right? But it's actually supposed to represent two hands, or even can represent two wings. And we are in his hand. Now, we just came from the character before this, Yod, which is the first character of the name Yahweh. His hand is leading us. But then this comes right after it, telling us that we are actually connected. We are connected to him in his hands. So this is being in his hands, or even being under his wings, right? And this is further protection, making sure that we know that we're in the hand or under the wings, the protection of the Almighty. Shalom, shalom. How's everybody doing? We're continuing to go through this series. We have the 12th character right now, the Hebrew characters, in the AlephBeit. The 12th character is Lamed. Lamed. It means the shepherd's staff. It can be the shepherd's staff, the great shepherd, the teacher, etc. So we have here Lamed, the shepherd's staff. Basically remember that the shepherd would have two tools. As a matter of fact, in Kemet, you even see these tools as well, but you basically have the shepherd's staff, or you have the rod of correction. When the rod came out, hey, be ready for correction, be ready for discipline. When the staff came out, we followed the direction. So the shepherd's staff, Lamed, 12th character, making sure that we're taught, ready to follow direction, making sure that we are sheep guided by our shepherd. Amen. All right, family, we're going to keep it going. I'm Pastor Kofi, continuing through the AlephBeit, and letting you know some of the stuff that we live by, that we grow through, etc. And so we have this next one called Mim. 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 It is the 13th character. It represents the water, blood, and spirit. the water, blood, and spirit. You see, it even looks like water, right? So mem, it's actually in the middle of two olives. If you've been with us long enough, you'll know what that is. But it actually, ama, would spell out the name mom. Matter of fact, in Paleo Hebrew, we would actually pronounce it mom, not mem, right? Because she carries the child, the water, the blood, and the spirit, right? So that's our 13th character, the character named Mom, or Mim, and continue to join us as we continue to go further. Shalom, family. This is Pastor Kofi. We're keeping it going on the Hebrew characters with the AlephBeit. Next character up is Nun. 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 It literally means a tadpole. It can also mean maturity. None. It literally means a tadpole. It can also mean maturity or perfection. None. So go figure. Before somebody else started calling themselves none, it was part of our culture. Shalom, Pastor Kofi here, still going. We have the 15th character for you in the Hebrew AlephBeit now. This is Samek. 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 And Samek, it means a seed or even thorns or even seed that grows in thorny ground. Samek. Samek. Right? And it's important that we realize that even though through bad situations, even through thorny ground, thorny situations, we can make it. The seed can still reach us where we are. Amen. Shalom, family. Pastor Kofi here. We're keeping it moving on the Hebrew character series. And we were making sure that we were talking about having, some of these things out for you guys to see that the AlephBeit or the AlephBeit, it actually preceded the alphabet. We've kind of proven that in this series already. However, as we continue to go through, here's something else that you might not know, right? The next character up is called Ayin. Ayin. Literally looking like an eye. It is called what? Ayin. Literally looks like an eye. Ayin. So when we're going through this, all we have to do is just look at it and realize that ayin, it looks like an eye, sounds like an eye, so you're still speaking Avda in a sense, or Paleo Hebrew. In a sense, there's still little remnants of it, even if you're not aware of it, right? And by the way, ayin means vision, it means countenance, or it means appearance. Shalom, fam. Pastor Kofi still at it. We're going over the AlephBeit. Here comes the next character after ayin. Here comes Peh. 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 And Peh means the mouth. Talking about how we speak. Peh. How we speak. So how we speak is important in everything that we do in life. How we speak represents culture. The tongue that one speaks denotes the nation that he is from, or that she is from, which is why we're going over this AlephBeit in the first place. So Peh, it means mouth, how one speaks. Shalom, family. Pastor Kofi still going at it, going strong here in the Hebrew characters. We're nearing the end, but we're still going strong. Next character up is called Tesade. 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 And Tesade, it means fisherman's hook. Tesade is fisherman's hook, right? When you become fishermen of men, you're going to be dealing with a Tesade type character, right? All these characters that we had, you can put them together, by the way, to be able to spell out different things or whatever, right? But when you have that Tesade in you, Tesade is going to help you as far as having proper character, to be able to make sure that you can become fishermen of men. Right? You might know how to fish for fish. You might know how to do some of those things, but Yahweh Yashva specifically wants us to become what? Fishermen of men. Tesade. Shalom, family. Pastor Kofi still here going strong. We have the next character up for you in this Hebrew character series. It is called Kof. Now, if you notice, some Kof, right? And this is ancient Hebrew. As a matter of fact, we would have said Kwav, right? But this is ancient Hebrew, so that's why it sounds different. I'm not doing a mixing of a bunch of different languages. We're trying to be as close to the original as possible. So we have Kwav, right? That's how people would say today, Quof or Kwav. But we have Quof. And Quof here, it represents an axe. Matter of fact, if I were to put it like this, some versions of this of our language written out, and depending on dialect and stuff, they actually would have it like this and have this handle be a little longer because you could see where the stone axe would be tied into the stick, right? So this is an axe. It means preparation, right? It means something that's getting us ready for the next level. And sometimes to go to the next level, you have to cut things off in your life. Quof, an axe. Shalom, family. Pastor Kofi still at it. We got 2 more characters after this, and then we will have gone through all 22 characters of the Hebrew AlephBeit. Next character up is Resh. resh, right? And if you notice, resh actually kind of sort of looks like a backwards R, but resh, resh means the head of the environment. Resh, it means the head of the environment, could mean the head of the assembly, could mean head of the body, could be the head of the kingdom, right? But it means the head. Resh. And as the head's heavy is the head that wears the crown. So always be ready. If you're going to be resh or even led by resh, be careful that you don't realize that you might be taking on too much if you're not prepared for it. That's why Kof came before this. Shalom, family. How you doing? Pastor Kofi. Second to last of the Hebrew characters in our AlephBeit series for you. Here we go. Sheen. 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 It means teeth. So you can see the teeth, which means it can be chewing, as in chewing something up, or even mulling over something, or even it can also mean what? It can also mean destruction. So when you see sheen, sheen is talking about thinking something through, could ultimately lead to destruction, and it can also represent teeth. So when you're going through things, make correct decisions, because correct decisions can keep you from destruction. Or if you decide to go into them, they come with consequences. And often I hear people all the time, well, if there's a loving higher power, if there's a loving God, then how come he allows suffering? Do you ever ask yourself if you do anything without thinking over it that allows you to fall into destruction? You have free will. Sheen, teeth, chewing, destruction. All right, Shalom fam, how's everybody doing? Thank you for being on one more again. So we're going to this last character today, or last character of this series, for the Hebrew character series, and it is called Tav. Tav, which basically is a lowercase t put on its side. That's how we would look at it. Tav even makes a t sound or a t sound, depending on where it is in the word. So we have Tav. Some people would write this th and go th. Right, but we in our dialect that we use, we say tav, okay? And so tav. So tav, it means marked, it means finished, it means complete, it means matured. It also can mean the cross, right? And by the way, this is very interesting because you'll hear people say stuff like, well, Cain was marked. That means that, he was made colored or black or something. Some people try to reverse it, say he was made white, but no, he was marked. There was a tav put right on his forehead.